The fuckers tied me up so tight I can't feel my arms! Look, man, the rope's too tight. I can't free myself. I owe you a big one, and I'll never forget this, I swear! These forest fuckers just left me here for the wolves!
Noticed anything suspicious here? Everything's fine, give it a rest. Alright, I guess I'll go.
There's over there! I see him! He's in window, I just saw guys! What is this? You dirty bandit! Eat that one! We got the Hey team! Intruders here, guys! I think that the intruders! He's down there! The intruders hit that fast! Eat this one!
Speak, pirate! You summoned the council, so take the word first.
You don't respect the teacher's word.
What is that supposed to mean?
You let an intruder go. He could lead the others here. He saw all of our positions here.
Nobody let him go. He escaped. The guard was distracted, and he's being punished.
Haha! Well, more intruders come and start cutting you to pieces. That's going to be a good...
Yeah, you'll be running around pissing your pants and shouting, "We punished the guard!" Or maybe you'll just surrender.
Running is your forte. You said you were going to hold the lumber mill and ran.
Don't you dare! The boys died there to the last man. The deadlands are spreading. Holding that is harder than keeping one intruder under a lock.
And we will hold the swamp camp. Don't be afraid, weaklings.
You say that again and I'll deck you! Watch your tone!
But he was saying shit about the boys who died there.
All right. Anyhow, you pioneers shut your pants. Now we'll have to board the train. Better than waiting for their attack.
Remember the teacher's word. We defend ourselves.
Attack is the best form of defense.
What? I don't remember the teacher saying that!
The teacher said you have to read. So we read that in our book.
Well, if you read that in your book, then you can attack, and we won't. The teacher also said that you can't just kill everyone. You have to take them to the forest court.
Ah, we expected as much from you. All right, we can handle it ourselves. And we'll hang the second intruder from a post once we catch him.
He's not a bandit, and he didn't hurt the girls. He only defended himself. Why kill him?
Because he's an intruder. He came here like a bandit, so he'll get hanged like one. And I dare you to say we are bandits.
Is that a threat?
It's a warning.
Enough! I declare this session closed! And now, as hospitality dictates, let's eat together.
Hey, why did you stop? Hey! Son, go check on that drum wizard. Something's off. Yeah, sure. It was only hope for something to happen to that. Are you riding there? Who's in charge here? Sure I am. What else can I do?
Good. I know already. I will.
But I'm sure. And there's more. And the other boys from the third barrack. Where the hell are these fuckers hiding?
Don't worry. The two we caught will talk soon.
We shouldn't have come here. It's all going
Fuckers never
that's for sure. We're all getting whacked here.
Hey man, what's up? Get up.
wishes to make it out of here alive.
That bitch is there!
Gotta reload, people!
We're fucked! Let's get out! There he is! At the campfire! Catch a bullet, you motherfucker!
The beacher's got one of us!
Die, you fucking bitch!
Coming up on Up at Noon, Brian's horse died in Red Dead Redemption and he's very sad about it. Overwatch is getting some cool new toys in 2019 and they are rebooting Shrek? Seriously? Well, we better talk about that. All that and more right now on Up at Noon Live. Hey!
We're back.
It's Up at Noon. Welcome back to Up at Noon Live. We're here. We're doing this.
We are. We're
Yeah.
back for this week and next, and then we'll see after
Who
that.
knows?
But look, the magic, the real story is we're here and we're doing it and we're making a show and we're very excited about that.
Yeah, and we're actually here because of our sponsor, which is Metro Exodus, coming out February 22nd. It's on Xbox One, it's on PS4, it's on PC. You can pre-order it now, and you can stay tuned to IGN because there will be more news about Metro Exodus.
Yes.
Right here. But huge
game
thank you to
coming
them
soon.
for sponsoring.
Yeah, seriously, thank you so much to Metro Exodus for powering this episode and allowing us to make some more shows this year. We love making this show, and so we're doing it again. This is very nice. Very happy about this.
yeah.
That's a real smile across this man's face.
Real
right
smile, not like those fake smiles you
Yeah.
might see on other websites.
Exactly.
No.
Other websites are riddled with fake smiles, and we would never deliver you anything but the realness when it comes to big old smiling boys.
Yes.
Give them a good
Your
one.
number
Max.
one spot for
Hit 'em with the good
smiles.
stuff.
Here's the real one.
There we go. I like
Anyway,
that. I want to do one. Here, give Mariah.
Get that out of here. Put that away. That's horrible. No one wants to see that. All right, so there's a lot of good reasons to be smiling this week. We got some huge, big news. This actually isn't really news. They talked about this a while ago. Shrek is getting a reboot. For those of you unfamiliar, Shrek is the popular ogre voiced by Michael Myers.
Oh yeah?
Not
You're
the
gonna-
murderer, the Canadian.
You're
who's
gonna
funny.
you're gonna explain Shrek?
I'm not going to explain Shrek.
No, do it. Keep going.
I'm not going to Shrek-splain Shrek. But no, basically, it's weird. The last Shrek movie we got was Shrek Forever After, which came out, I think, in 2010.
Yeah.
And then since then, Shrek has had a couple of major things happen to him. One, he became a huge meme, and the internet just ran crazy with Smash Mouth memes and doing all sorts of Shrek jokes, and everyone became brogers and all sorts of strange stuff like that. I think it was Heidi Klum dressed up like Princess Fiona, and her boyfriend dressed up like Shrek. It was a nightmare. I would show you images, but it would be too upsetting.
Yeah, we don't want you
and
to
then-
throw up at work.
Another huge thing that happened was DreamWorks Animation got bought by Universal. So basically, the company that's putting out all the Shrek movies is sort of no longer doing that. So Shrek's been sort of, I don't know, he kind of went back to the swamp. He's kind of been on hiatus for that. But they've announced that Shrek 5, for lack of a better title, is going to be a full, complete reboot of Shrek, and it's going to be done by the studio that made The Minions.
Ooh.
Yeah, who are also a little bit memey when you get into it.
Which, side note, is also apparently working on the Super Mario Brothers animated movie with Shigeru Miyamoto.
Interesting.
So,
That's Illumination Entertainment, I believe?
yes.
Yeah, yeah.
And so the good news about that is that they're very busy and hopefully too busy to make more Minions. Because
Yeah.
I hate those dastardly little
The
Twinkie animals.
Look, the Minions, they're little pineapple guys. I don't know. I'm not wild about them, but I've made my peace with the Minion. I know a lot of people are sort of upset with what they're doing with Shrek. People don't want a Shrek reboot. Weird thing about Shrek is when Shrek first came out, a lot of people don't know this, Shrek is based on a book. This is one of my favorite childhood books. I was very excited when Shrek first came out in 2001.
You read that as a child?
Yeah, it's a great book. It's wonderful. It's by William Steig, who's like an acclaimed illustrator. The Shrek book is actually kind of screwed up. He straight up goes around killing people. I think he eats a man.
Mm-hmm.
The man faints and he eats his pheasant. He shoots lasers out of his eyes.
I'll be
Shrek is
honest with
great
you,
in the book.
In terms of Shrek lore, I'm still bummed that the universe robbed us of the opportunity to have Chris Farley star as Shrek, which was the original plan. Rest in peace, Chris Farley.
Apparently,
I
the
love
original
that man.
plan was to have Chris Farley voicing Shrek and then the Smashing Pumpkins doing the theme song. That was another thing. Look at it. He's killing a guy. This looks like Dark Souls. I love it. Look at Shrek. It's a great book.
Let me ask you then. Now that this franchise has transcended being films and has become like completely sort of deepened in internet culture, where does this movie go?
Well, that's the weird part. You either have to make Shrek like super modern and reboot it and make it the most self-aware thing. Like we're seeing, like Wreck-It Ralph is making a movie about the internet, which is going to be weird because it's going to immediately kind of be a year after like Wreck-It Ralph comes out. There's going to be a lot of stuff in that just feels dated and old and weird. With Shrek, when that first came out, it was all about being sort of self-aware. It was kind of a send-up of like Disney fairy tale movies. It was all very like, ooh, a little bit edgy. I feel like you either have to be so completely bizarre and like self-aware and postmodern. which is hard to do because you wind up with stuff like the Emoji Movie, or it has to just kind of be like a very earnest return to form and make like just a legit like, I don't know, just a charming fairy tale movie about an ogre. And I don't really see either of those things happening successfully.
Right. I mean, do you reboot it entirely, or do you Force Awakens it?
I don't know what you do with that. Honestly, this isn't going to happen because like it's an animation studio that's doing it. I really doubt it anyway. But I feel like a live-action Shrek would be really interesting.
I'm going to throw up.
It would be terrifying, but it would be interesting.
You can't just go on.
I mean, that's the
TV
whole
and
thing
say
that Disney's doing right now is they're basically like, well, ideas are. Well, they're a lot of work. Let's just redo the Jungle Book and the Lion King and Aladdin and the Little Mermaid in live action and add a few things and use people because people like to see that sort of transformative. Like,
sure.
What would this look like with real people? I don't know what you do with Shrek. I don't know what you do with Shrek in 2019. I feel like it's going to be an interesting year because we're getting Avatar 2 and we're getting a Shrek reboot. And there's just feel like things that are like, this was hot almost a decade ago. What took you so long?
Yeah. This is a weird year for old things returning. Oh boy, there he is. There's that little goblin himself. Hello there. Can we bring him back? Oh, hi, little friend. Look at that little
That's a
one.
creation of my own. This is my own original character who no one has ever thought of before me. This is Shrek-It Ralph. He's an original creation of mine. If anyone would like to buy Shrek-It Ralph, I invented him, and he's for sale.
He's a little
to the highest bidder. If anyone would like, if DreamWorks, anyone, Disney,
little
if you want Shrek-It Ralph,
that little
you
boy.
can have it. He wiggles, he dances, he does all sorts of things. He loves the swamp and he loves to game.
Here, you little rat.
He's the true gamer.
Oh, he's hard to get.
Yes, as you can see, I have many animation people on my staff here at IGN. Please be in touch. I'm on PayPal and Venmo.
That was actually the first footage of the Shrek sequel reboot, so check it out. There's huge animation budget this time around, so it's getting big. Can you put him in my hand?
You know, I think that
give me that little man. Put that little man in my hand.
There's really weird. There's such a
There's
lag.
that little man. Put that little man in my hand.
I feel like that's what you've got to make. You've got to like. I feel like I don't think we can even say that right. That word, but you know when you make
he's ticklish. Ooh, he's doing a dance. Oh, the little.
If they're gonna reboot Shrek, I feel like they should spend like $75 on that movie. They should just animate the whole thing on Fiverr. They should just get like weird internet things to make the movie for them. Because if you try to throw money at that and make a polished thing, the internet's just gonna be like, we don't want this. This is too fresh and new. Make something like that. Get like transparent PNG. Put it over a live man. Just make him hold it in his hand. I don't know. You all right over there?
I can't believe they
See,
put this
Shrek is
show
love.
on hold.
Why would they can't? We talk about Shrek. No one else is talking about Shrek here. Shrek. Anyway. We got other stuff to talk about. Another big piece of news here. This has kind of been kicking around. We've been talking about this for a bit. They are re-releasing Deadpool 2 in PG-13 form this Christmas. And a lot of people first heard about this and they were like, this sucks. Why would you do that? Like
I think you and I immediately said, "Oh, this is cheap," and they're cashing in on the fact that they're delaying Battle Angel and they're trying to like fill a block and make some money.
It seems sort of half-assed and greedy, but that's also something that I feel like Deadpool can pull off the way no other character can do. We found out a little more about this. It's going to be re-released as Once Upon a Deadpool, and it's going to be a PG-13 recut of Deadpool 2, and Ryan Reynolds basically said in an interview, like, the only way that he agreed to do a PG-13 version of Deadpool was, one, if money went towards charity, and two, if he could kidnap Fred Savage.
Right.
So they basically are adding a bunch of extra scenes to Deadpool 2 that are sort of reframing as the Princess Bride?
Princess Bride, yeah.
But Fred Savage is like an adult man now, so Ryan Reynolds is going to show up as Deadpool in Fred Savage's bedroom.
If you've seen The Princess Bride, so basically Fred Savage as a narrative device in the 90s and the 80s did a lot of weird things where he was either telling a story of a flashback or having a story told to him, and in The Princess Bride is effectively, what's up, Dan?
I have the movie at my desk right now, actually.
Dan has a movie at his desk right now if you want to come on down and watch it.
Yeah, if you want to see The Princess Bride, just go over to Dan's desk, because he's got it there.
Dan Parker's
It's a weird
desk.
thing to have at your desk.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're doing with that.
Dan's desk is $7.99 a month. It sits right there next to Netflix, Hulu.
Number one
everything
streaming
else.
service for watching The Princess Bride on DVD.
Number
from
one,
his
yeah.
desk.
You can only watch it one person at a time.
Yeah, from the IGN office.
Maybe two if you pull up a desk.
Anyway, Deadpool 2. I love the idea of this. It makes it. They're going to get weird. They're going to get very strange. Apparently, they had like a day of extra reshoots for bonus scenes. I get the sense that Deadpool 2 had a lot of stuff left on the cutting room floor. There's actually like a whole bonus scene where like Omega Red is there in the prison playing chess.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of strange stuff that got cut.
So do you think they'll roll in the like unrated director's cut stuff, but like PG-13
I think they're definitely going to make fun of the fact that it's PG-13. I think there's going to be some like creative, repurposing of swear words. And in fact, the thing that Ryan Reynolds wanted was for this to go towards charity. It's going to do that. $1 of every ticket sale is going to go towards a charity that is called Fudge Cancer. Not the other F word because it's a PG-13 family thing for the holidays, but Fudge Cancer, and it's gonna, they're gonna, of course, fighting cancer, which is cool. And it's a limited run. It's not like a thing that's gonna be in theaters forever. It's gonna be, I think, for December 12th to 24th. So yes, it's sort of a cash grab, but it's also sort of a cash grab that's going to a good cause and seems like it's kind of having fun with things. So.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, I don't really need another excuse to go see that movie. I loved seeing that movie, and the idea of them sort of wrapping a new story around it by throwing, like, 40-something-year-old Fred Savage in there, too, is great. I'm in. Let's do it.
I might take my mom to go see Deadpool, too. I think
you
that'd
should.
be fun, yeah.
I might take your mom to go see Deadpool, too.
Don't take my mom to see Deadpool, too. I don't want that at all. That's not all right.
I'm doing it. Hey,
No,
Sally
thank
Scoville, guess who's on the way over?
Don't dox my mom. You
I got
can't
a
say,
car.
what are you doing? That's
I'll kiss
horrible.
you. I'll give you a good smooch.
They were going to look her up in the phone book. She's still in there. Who has phone books in this day and age?
Take that Christmas
Good
stock
God.
and put some gifts in it.
Anyway, you want to go on to the next thing there?
Let's go on to the next thing. So we just got a very special box today. This obviously Red Dead Redemption 2, all the rage. We've talked about some stuff that is available at GameStop right now. I unboxed it on IGN. It's a candle, there's a lighter, a bunch of other very cool things.
Rockstar they're no stranger to making lots of swag for their games.
Yeah,
and definitely.
And I'll be blunt. A lot of video game swag is kind of like cheap, and it's not that great. But they're really going all out with this game, unsurprisingly, considering the quality of everything around this game is so high. So let's take a look inside this box
thing
now.
is sold out on GameStop right now, but it was $100 when it was for sale. You can now find it on eBay for almost double that because people are sort of scalping it. And honestly, I feel like video game collector's editions, while they're sometimes they're kind of bogus, sometimes they're like easy to get a hold of, and there's plenty of them. For games that are like in super hot demand, like Red Dead, it kind of makes sense to buy this stuff in advance and then maybe resell it.
So before we get into it, this tin, obviously, if you played the game, this is basically similar to the one that you drop the money in your town. This is kind of like your commissary, right?
I believe they call it the tithings box or something, and it's Cornwall.
And so when you go back to camp, you take all the money you got from robbing dudes and doing heists and crimes and stuff, you put it in here and you upgrade your camp. So now you can have one of these in real life.
This is solid metal. This has got, this is like really nice. This could be, super cheap, but it feels actually pretty sturdy. It would honestly really hurt if you dropped it on your foot. There's been no shortage of maps released alongside this game, and this one I believe has 2 of them. Here's one of a sketch of some trees and stuff.
Oh, so basically there are some people in the game that you can find, I don't know if you've done this yet, Max, who have treasure maps on them.
Oh, it's a treasure map.
Yeah, it's a treasure map. So they basically have like a little thing hidden in like a nook of a tree. So this is a recreation of one of those.
It
smells very nice.
Here's the catalog. It comes with the Wheeler, Ross, and a it's basically just a printed version of
the catalog you find in
which
the game.
I really love. The thing about the game is like I love exploring. I love looking at all the details. I don't really want to sit around and read every little bit of copy. Though I know there's a lot of cool detail in there. I might actually just snag this and go read it while I'm on the toilet or something because it's got some good details in there.
It's really well done.
Here's an authentic Red Dead Redemption bandana. I feel like I haven't even seen that many of these in the game. Like, I always think of bandanas as being the #1 cowboy thing.
Well, you have a bandana that you can basically pull up in your wheel. This one doesn't really scream Red Dead, but it does have the logo on it.
That's kind of Rockstar's jam when it comes to making merch. It's a red bandana that may get you shot in gang territory, but worth noting, it has little tiny pistols on it. And, yeah, you look really cool. You look like a cool man.
I love my horse.
There's a little Rockstar logo. Who said that? I can't even tell. I don't recognize
never know.
you. Other stuff in here, there is a challenge coin, which is like, everything is just like, the packaging is really nice on this. This is like a very nice gifty things. Let's get this out of here. It's like, this looks like something that old people would buy from like infomercials on Fox News. Like this is cash for gold.
Yeah, this is one of those things they show on the Home Shopping Network at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Buffalo coin, which is then it's sideways in there, so you gotta spin it around.
Spin it around a little bit. Look at that. That's really cool.
Yeah, the buffalo is upside down. It's gone the way of the buffalo.
And it's got this like little metal plaque on top that says, Red Dead Redemption 2, a powerful symbol of the American frontier. The American bison were hunted to near extinction in the late 1800s.
By Red Dead Redemption 2
that's
players.
An upside down bison right in there.
There's a little pouch that comes with a bunch of pins, which I love because they remind me of Monopoly pieces.
They do, yeah.
There's like a tomahawk, a musket, there's a pistol, a bunch of just kind of weapons. These are kind of cool. I don't know if everyone's down to wear like guns on their lapel, but like this knife is kind of badass.
That's a cool knife. I'll take,
they really
I'll
are
take
like
the
Monopoly
tomahawk
pieces.
pin and put it on my person.
Yeah, on your purse. You gonna do that?
I could do that.
I don't even know what this is. Oh, it's a little X. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, these are great.
All right, so those are neat.
What's
what else
this,
is in
Max?
here?
Where did you get this lock?
Oh, look at that. That's the lock for the box.
Oh,
you can
interesting.
You can lock your tithings box. See, the
Ooh,
funny thing.
that's got a heavy weight
Yeah,
to it, like
this
an
is a good.
old-timey
This is good.
coin.
I'm not gonna lock this too much, but yeah, it goes on the box there. The thing I love about Rockstar stuff is a good deal of the time, their merchandise can be used to hide weed. That's not like a. That's a thing. I'm just gonna say it. It's legal here. You can do that. I don't know how old you are. If you're old enough to play Rockstar games, maybe you're old enough
went
to have
the-
weed. But
I went to the release party for GTA Chinatown Wars, and they gave everyone rolling papers. So there's
imagine that. There was the one. They sent out this stuffed dog of Chop from GTA 5 that had a little stash pouch in a very bad place to hide weed on a dog.
Lil
It was
Stash
not-
Pouch is my favorite rapper.
It was not the collar. It was not the mouth. It was a different place on the dog that you could put secret weed.
a real beaut.
Yeah, and then there's here's a deck of playing cards. You want to try to open those up?
Yeah, sure.
Playing cards are cool. I'm more interested in the cigarette cards, which are something I find myself very compelled to collect in Red Dead. I love these. You told me that you could get cigarette cards in the game by smoking cigarettes. That's not true.
I didn't tell you that.
Yes, you did. You
No,
told
you
me that
can buy
yesterday.
you can buy cigarettes in the game.
And they come with the cards?
That wasn't me. That was John Ryan. He made our guide.
Okay.
So
Well,
he knows
apparently
what
I
he's doing.
misunderstood, but
He knows more about the game
you have
than
to look
anybody.
around for cigarette cards everywhere. These are gorgeous. I just love these designs. So they've got all the different, the famous horse and the proud American and the outlaw.
Famous horse.
Famous horse.
Here are the playing cards. They are really well done. As you can see, they've got key art from the game on them. Look at that. That is fantastic.
Those are great. And then here's a nice box that has a puzzle in it, which
puzzle?
I'm not. What's wrong with you?
I love
Why are you
the
always-
puzzle.
Why are you bullying me on the show we host together? I love this because back in the day of Red Dead olden days, probably the biggest AAA game they had was Jigsaw Puzzle.
That's right.
And
People
playing
love doing
cards.
the puzzles.
Yeah.
Everybody loved.
Here's the single-player campaign, and the playing cards are Red Dead Online.
You would have to go to
And
bed
the
at
time
4
Red Dead.
p.m. because it would be too dark, and then you'd wake up at 4 in the morning and
I'm not
do a nice puzzle.
I'm not like a huge expert on puzzle pieces, but these do look like a high-quality puzzle. They look like they're laser cut from some sort of wood. Anyway, I'm not going to play with a jigsaw puzzle on a live video game channel. Thank you for watching us unbox this box of treasures. All right.
Good
What we got
horses
next?
here.
Quit looking at the horses. Is that it? That's everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, it all fits in the box.
Here's a nice picture of a snake.
That's a
Everyone
good. That's a good.
loves the
That's a good snack.
snack. Nature's rose. Very
Put all the
loud.
treasures back in here. The box is loud if you put the things in it suddenly.
Yes.
Anyway, put the treasures back away. And that stuff's all available on the internet. The Magician's Scarf, available now from magical retailers in your
is
area.
Correct. Speaking of Red Dead, you've been playing it, I've been playing it, I hope you're playing it. And it's a vast, gorgeous open world game. It's incredibly detail oriented. We're also putting tons of time into it. I don't think it's like the kind of game that you can play in like 20-minute bursts. You know, you kind of got to like sit there, let it marinate for a little while.
It
You gotta
really
be in the right
forces you
mood
to
for
slow
it.
down.
Yes, I totally agree. And one of the ways you can't slow down in that game is on a horse, because horses go fast. That's why horses have horsepower.
I get it.
You got it. So when we found out about this game to begin with, we heard all these stories about how like you could really bond with your horse, connect with your horse, name your horse, basically level up your horse. Like there's effectively like an RPG style bonding.
There's a friendship meter.
Yeah. And so like when you're riding your horse and people start shooting, your horse gets scared and you go like, all right, good boy, wait a minute, everything's gonna be just fine. I love you real good and you're my favorite horsey in the whole wide world. I got a horse named Cheddar Cheese. And that's what I called him because you can name your horse anything in the game, and I think I was dropped frequently as a child. So I named my horse Cheddar Cheese, which is a good name for a horse. And we were like on all types of adventures. Everything was going really good. I was like, you know, you bring him everywhere. You don't really have a lot of fast travel options in that game. And so I brought my horse all over the land. And we were really connecting. And the thing with that is like you have your saddle and you fill it with like alligator meats, cigarettes, and guns and bread, and you go everywhere you want. And you and your horse are best friends. And one day, I just want to get into this because this really hurt. One day I saw a train, and I said I'm gonna get on that train because I've never done this before. I've never ran alongside the train and just ridden my horse next to it and jumped from the horse to the train, got on the train, killed everybody, stole all their money, and then gotten back off the train. I got on my horse. I ran alongside the train. I was really hoping everything would be great. This was the perfect time for me to really show my special bond with my great horse, Cheddar Cheese.
I don't like where this is going.
And
it's very upsetting.
and this is not my footage. This is footage of Destin Legary. I asked him to get footage of the horse with the train.
He hates horses, so he was like, gladly.
And my horse.
This is not what you did, for the record.
I would not do this.
This is horrible.
No, this is not great, but we're showing you this footage anyway. This is, not for the faint at heart. This is not great. By the way, right by there, that man sitting in the back, he's got all the cigarettes. He's really into that. So here's the horse down the track right now. It's not.
No!
Okay, close your eyes. This is gonna get ugly.
No!
And
No!
boom. Okay.
I didn't even see it. That's not too
He's
bad.
really, you can kind of see him tumbling underneath there. And so here's the thing. My horse, his neck gently brushed against the side of the train, and then he fell on the ground. And my horse has fallen on the ground dozens of times. And I walked up to him and I was like, surely he'll be okay. And he wasn't. And he didn't get back up.
Did you have Horse Reviver?
No, because it doesn't work on a dead horse. It only works on a sick horse that's hurt.
So the train just perma-killed your horse?
The train killed my horse, and all it said was remove saddle. It didn't say your horse died. It didn't say Cheddar Cheese is dead. It just said remove saddle. So all you can do is take the saddle and bring it to another horse and pretend you never had anything with that old horse, and he's just gone forever. And I just want you to know,
take care of your horse.
It hurts, man, and it's bleak, and it's dark, and it sucks, and no one told me this is gonna happen, so I'm giving you a warning right now. Take care of your damn horse, because it can die, and when it does, it's awful.
So, no, I want to talk about this. They told us all this stuff about how you're going to develop a deep bond with your horse. And some of that stuff was like Rockstar being like, here's all the systems in place. The testicles shrink and expand based on the weather, and the horse can hold your bags and all sorts of treasures on there. And we're like, okay, those are game mechanics. What they didn't tell us was that the fidelity of the horse and the amount of time you spend in the game with the horse would actually make you develop like an attachment to it.
Yes.
Like there's that level of personalization. You get the new horse hair and you brush the horse and you hear Arthur being, there, it's all right. Give him like a burdock root or a sugar cube or a peppermint. I have a horse. My first horse was named Yanni. I bought that little crappy $15 horse that they were like, people make fun of you for having. And I immediately maxed out Yanni. I just rode Yanni everywhere. We became good friends. I later found out Yanni was a woman horse. And we rode every which way. And recently, I've been, hours and hours in the game, and I rode Yanni off a small ledge that I didn't see because it was nighttime, and Yanni went just straight down on her legs. And I had to go and give her a horse reviver, but then she was all tuckered out. She was very tired. And I was like, you know what, Yanni, you've been through too much, and you're too dear to me. I'm taking you to the stable. I'm taking you into the stable, and I'm going to take care of you. So I took Yanni there, and I was like, you know what? Here's $5, stableman. I want you to take good care of Yanni. I want you to give her the full horse bath and really just take good care of her. And I got another horse, like a $150 horse. His name's Ricky. It's actually a man horse this time. And I'm not wild about Ricky. Ricky and I just reached level 3 as a friendship meter this morning. It's fine. I don't think Ricky's that great. His stats are, I think, better than Yanni's, but I still love Yanni more. And now I'm torn. Do I go back to the stable? Do I retrieve Yanni and ride Yanni around? Or do I risk Yanni being killed by trains or cougars?
It sucks, man.
It's a very good video game, and I enjoy the horses quite a bit.
Game's great. It's
good time with the horses. But don't take care of your horses. Don't kill the horses. Maybe buy a separate horse and kill that horse. Steal someone else's horse.
Cheddar Cheese, I just want to tell you, I love you, man, and I miss you, and I'm sorry I put your neck on the side of that train. Like, I'm really, really sorry about that.
You're very upset about that poor horse.
Cheddar Cheese, you're the #1 horse, and I'll never forget you. I got a new horse
IGN's #1 horse, Cheddar
That's right.
Cheese. Who's the new horse's name?
Christopher.
Christopher the horse. Cheddar Cheese lives on in the spirit of the stallion. Don't show us that. Get that out of here. Oh, the little mane is blowing in the wind. That's so sad.
Oh yeah, one more thing.
Delete that.
One more thing I forgot to tell you guys, and this is really messed up. When you take the saddle off of the horse, you also take his soul. And you're like, where is this dude going with this? But the horse has his own style of his hair and everything that you did. And here's the thing about Cheddar Cheese.
Is that what a soul is? The style of the hair?
Damn right. Cheddar Cheese was a white horse with red hair and a red thick ponytail.
Sounds like a clown.
He looked like pizza.
Horrible.
And so I picked up the saddle off of the dead Cheddar Cheese horse, and his hair disappeared, and so did his tail. And now I bring that with me everywhere, looking for the next place to drop it, the soul of the horse. The cheddar cheese.
I think that's how that works, but I'm glad you had a good time playing the cowboy game with the horse.
That's right. Anyway, if you guys like video games, you should check out Overwatch.
That's not a good segue.
It's one of the best video games of the last few years.
Speaking of games with cowboys in them, there's a cowboy in Overwatch. There's even a brand new cowgirl they introduced last week at BlizzCon. Overwatch is one of the biggest games in the world this century, year, whatever. At BlizzCon recently, they dropped a bunch of new announcements about stuff happening in the game. Something that I care about a lot, even less so than Overwatch, the game itself. Admittedly, I don't play it. Is toys. One thing that's always kind of appealed to me about Overwatch is how much these characters do look like action figures.
Yeah.
And how they all have different weapons, and the environments seem they're very much like play sets. It was announced a while back at this big licensing fair that Overwatch would be getting Lego sets, and we got our first look at them, and they're really cool. Like, again, I'm not a huge Overwatch fan. I appreciate it, but like, I don't actually play. And so I figured I'd show off some of these cool toys, and they're really neat. We got some of these leaked a while ago, but the official images are out. So first things first, smallest set in the line is Tracer vs. Widowmaker. It is 129 pieces. It is $15. Obviously, Legos are expensive.
I love that shit.
But it's really cool. It's got a little spaceship, and yes, there are the characters. Look at that sniper rifle.
Dude, that's like one of the larger guns they've given a minifig.
Yeah,
like that's up there.
Definitely, it's fitting though. A little bit next up, there's Hanzo and Genji, and then there is
rules.
This is 197 pieces. It's $20. This is like, I think they understand that like.
Does it come with a phone with stats on it?
What is that? Is that Spotify?
I think so. Yeah.
I love that.
Listening to the Overwatch soundtrack.
And then, these are just like, they're really cute. I feel like it's a good balance between like how much of this is minifigs and how much of this is like playset. I know a lot of people, obviously, with a character-driven game like Overwatch, they're probably more excited about the minifigs than they are the actual stuff happening in the background. But there's a good balance kind of across the board here. And then there's Dorado Showdown, which has that funny truck. This is 419 pieces. It's $30. You got McCree and Reaper and what is that, 47? Or what is his name? Not 47. I'm terrible about this. The man in the truck.
Most importantly, the truck is hitting a banana stand.
There's a banana
just
stand,
crushing it, and I think that's great.
Yeah, these are great. This is like little kind of vignettes of the levels themselves. And then of course we've got Diva and Reinhardt, which is 455 pieces, $40. I feel like that isn't that bad for that amount of parts, and also
No way.
like
These
it's
rule.
just badass mechs, you know? Like
Yeah, this is awesome. Like I kind of want to just pop like other minifigs into these things because they're really well done.
Yeah.
Man, that's awesome. Look at that hammer.
Honestly, like I always love Lego. I'm a big fan of like, anime mecha stuff, and I feel like Lego is just barely putting their toes in the sort of the mecha pool. We get like a nice robot here and there, but like they don't do enough cool mech suits, and
Yes.
it's nice to see them doing divas. And then of course, speaking of which, there is Bastion, who is a transforming figure. This one is $50, 602 pieces.
Oh, he turns into like a turret gun.
Batteries are included. He does the full transformation. There's like a little motor in there.
What?
Which is awesome.
I gotta see that in action. That
so
rules.
yeah, that'll be a cool thing to play with.
Yep.
And then finally, let's see. There is Watchpoint Gibraltar, which has 730 pieces, $90. This is obviously the big one for rich kids.
Which looks like one of their vintage space sets, but like gone totally awry. I love that they just put that like gorilla in a suit up there.
Hell yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah. So those are the Overwatch Lego. There are more Overwatch toys coming out next year. Also announced is Hasbro got the Master Toy license, and that they're going to be putting out action figures. And they revealed one action figure at BlizzCon, which is Mercy. This is going to be part of a 2-pack. These are called, like, I think Overwatch Ultimates. I'm not sure how wide of a distribution it'll be, but it's Hasbro, so they probably wind up in
like
Walmarts and Targets and stuff.
6-inch scale?
I'm guessing 6-inch. I would guess this is probably in line with like Star Wars Black Series and Marvel Legends.
Yep.
Unclear what character Mercy will come with or how many other like 2-packs they'll have, but this makes perfect sense. Like the amount of characters in Overwatch, it totally makes sense to do an action figure line. And they have another one that we'll talk about in a second. But first,
we can make them fight Deadpool.
hell yeah,
Nice.
finally, and our fan fiction comes to life. They also announced that they're going to be doing Nerf guns, which is like such
Damn.
awesome news. I feel like I've been wanting video game themed Nerf guns for my entire life. I always wanted just just Doom Nerf guns. I don't think we'll ever get that because that's too M-rated. But
So we've gotten a bunch of Star Wars ones, but these look more like their in-game counterparts than they do Nerf guns. And usually that's a weird place to kind of meet in the middle. Like the Star Wars ones look like Nerf guns that...
the preferred nomenclature by the fine folks at Hasbro is actually Nerf blasters.
Got it.
There's obviously the whole gun conversation to be had. It gets tricky with Star Wars because so many of those are actually based on real-world guns. But in this case, we've got, what's his face? McCree's pistol. pistol, and then of course there's a bunch of little tiny blasters.
Oh, those are so cute.
And obviously a lot of people are going to be buying that Diva one for Halloween costumes and cosplay and stuff. And then these are great. These are just like super fun for like kids or adults. Shoot your friend, shoot your coworker. Who cares? Blast them. And then also coming out next year, again, 2019 is like the year of Overwatch toys. Figma, if you're into action figures and you've got some money kicking around, they're coming out with Diva in Figma form, super articulated, alternating heads, hands, a little posable thing.
That is awesome.
Little stand. There's also Tracer, which has been kicking around for a while.
Yep.
And then most recently, they announced, I think, Zenyatta, and then there's
Those legs.
Reaper and Genji. Yeah, these are gorgeous. These will run you like 70, 80 bucks, and they're pretty hard to find. I think one of them is actually already sold out on Blizzard's site, but they're up for pre-order. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
If that sounds expensive, I promise you these things are like infinitely posable, and like I have a bunch of these on my desk, and so does Max. And just like during downtime, I'll grab one and just pose it. I love this line of
some of the
figures.
best toys out there.
Figma makes great stuff.
But yeah, so that is the wide range of Overwatch toys that are all dropping in 2019. We found out that Hasbro is doing Fortnite Nerf guns, and that McFarlane is doing Fortnite action figures. So it's going to be an interesting kind of sort of war of massive video game franchises in the toy aisle. So
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, do we want to talk about YouTube?
We can talk about YouTube. We're on YouTube right now.
We are on YouTube.
Shout out to YouTube if you're watching on YouTube. Thank you.
We'll keep this short and quick, but I just want to give you a quick PSA. If you own a Nintendo Switch and you're tired of watching the only other video app on here, Hulu, great news, YouTube just stealth launched on Nintendo Switch. It's a free download. It syncs with your account if you already have one, which you should, and you can watch all your videos on it. Side note, I found out it syncs with Movies Anywhere, so your whole movie library is there too if you have that. Now, there are dozens, sometimes even 30 or 40 different videos available on YouTube at any given moment. And to cut through the fat, we thought we'd give you a short list of some of the best videos you can watch on YouTube on Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
Starting with one of the greatest videos of all time, truly an art house classic. Monkey falls out of the tree after smelling his finger. Let's take a look. It's a great film.
Now again, you're seeing this maybe on YouTube on your Switch. If you're watching IGN on YouTube on your Switch, this is a good video to go watch on YouTube as well.
There's the
but
moment.
If you're not watching this on YouTube, you can watch this on YouTube.
Yeah, and we've all been there, and we do have this instant replay. This is a great font.
It's
too.
amazing what technology allows.
Yeah.
I like how we've got
See,
this.
He smells the finger and then immediately just recoils because the stench is so bad and he can't take it and he falls out of that tree. Yeah,
Wow.
this is actually one of the
It's weird that
greatest.
somebody taped that off of E, ripped it, put it on YouTube in 4:3, and we captured it from YouTube, and then we put it on Up at Noon,
Yep.
and we put it in that letterbox, and now you're watching it maybe on YouTube or maybe on some other website.
That's true.
There should be way more artifacting in that video.
No, obviously that's goofy, but you probably want to watch some more serious stuff on YouTube every now and then, and that's why I defer you to one of the most serious short films ever made, Kid Falls in the River. This is a good one, so check it out.
The drama.
Here's a kid. Now he makes it successfully across the wood bridge, but gee wait, because the next boy, he just certainly does not. He stops, and his friend
This is really on it.
is really giving him a hard time.
I think Criterion needs to put this out on Blu-ray. I
Yeah.
want a full restoration. I want behind-the-scenes featurettes.
Now here's where it gets difficult and precarious for the boy in the back with the 83 shirt. Now you're probably hoping he makes it across this bridge. I have bad news for you. This video would not be anywhere near as successful or popular if he did. And so there he goes into the drink, and that is a short stream for him to
Great
crawl out of.
deluge.
Yeah, and this video is about 15 years old, and that boy is now a very successful businessman. So take that.
Yeah.
After that, YouTube is a great place for inspirational tales. And I like to go there when I'm feeling down to really pick myself up a little bit. And one of the things that I watch when I can't decide what to wear is guy wears a lot of the shirts. Let's take a look.
I don't think this is even a video. This is just a bunch of pictures.
Here's a video of the guy just really putting
I hadn't
on.
seen this one.
Now this is not him wearing different shirts and taking them off. This is him wearing more and more shirts, actually getting the Guinness Book of World Records of shirts.
That's groundbreaking.
Yeah.
It's funny, somebody in the comments pointed out that this is him wearing 155 different shirts at once.
That's right.
Which was the record, but then he broke that record again and wore 249 t-shirts at an event in Las Vegas.
That's right. And this
which
video
weighs
actually
over 200 pounds of shirt.
This video actually has the same day-night cycle as Red Dead Redemption 2, so you can take a look at that. So that's a great video if you want to see the guy really put on the shirts. After that, ladies, we want to give you some love too. Now, a lot of you out there love wine.
Who
It's a
doesn't?
great thing to drink. Look at those shirts. But here's a way you shouldn't make wine is by cheating. Let's take a look at the grape lady who tried to cheat in the grape crushing contest and fell. There she is, really putting those feet in those grapes. This was a great moment for her, but it's not great what happens to her next. When she's really stomping in those grapes, they call the timer, they say stop, and then she keeps going. See, she's given up, but her opponent cheats and falls. And that's why you shouldn't cheat, and that's another inspirational tale.
I've seen this video many times. I never knew about the subterfuge going on in this event.
Yeah,
I didn't know that she was cheating.
There's a lot happening.
Wow.
Now, obviously, animals are some of the best stars and in many ways better than people. And that's why you should take a look on Nintendo Switch at the great new video of Tillman, the skateboarding dog. Everyone loves Tillman.
While you're waiting for a new Animal Crossing game, watch this animal crossing the street on his skateboard.
Fun fact, bulldogs can't fly on planes because they get horribly congested, but they can go on the skateboard, and that's great. So check out Tillman, the great dog who also eats his own car.
Wow.
Everyone loves it.
Anyway.
Nintendo Switch and YouTube together at last, and now you can watch some of the hottest videos ever made. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And enjoy your great new app.
You can even watch this video on YouTube. What a sweet treat. Do we have anything else to talk about, or was that the end of the video?
We can talk about other stuff next week.
Why don't we talk about more stuff right now?
Yeah.
We got something to talk about right now. I'll tell you what's going on. We talked about YouTube. Let's talk about Netflix. So Netflix is obviously cranking out tons and tons more original content. Just recently they announced that I believe there are 17 new projects, properties, shows, movies, whatever, that are going to be produced out of Asia. And some of these are brand new original anime series, which is, depending what you're into, maybe that makes you, yawn or fall asleep. Maybe you get very excited. I'm kind of like a fair weather anime fan these days, and there are some very cool projects on the way from them. First things first, they are making a Pacific Rim anime. This is going to be, let's see, this is developed by one of the guys who worked on Thor Ragnarok and a guy who worked on X-Men Evolution. There's no graphics or anything for this yet, no visuals to go on, but it's gonna look like, presumably, Pacific Rim or Pacific Rim Uprising, but then in anime form, which is kind of perfect. It's weirdly going full circle because that was very, sort of anime inspired. And now that's going to be a show. And I was really into the first Pacific Rim, and then I was kind of so-so about. I actually didn't even finish Uprising. I started it on a plane and then I fell asleep, which I feel like a fake mecha fan for saying. But I feel like, I don't know, that'll find an audience on Netflix. In anime form. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah, that'll probably be awesome.
Now, there was another anime series, or not anime series, Netflix series, which is Altered Carbon, which is a cyberpunk series based on a series of books. That is getting an anime treatment as well, which I feel like I might be more into than the live action show they did.
Totally, because I think that live action hard sci-fi is difficult because you have to make everything look fantastic. And this show had some awesome cinematography, but kind of lost me in some of the props and sets. Some of the stuff you're seeing here is awesome looking, but the quality was kind of all over the place. Like watching ships take off in this show felt kind of wonky. And so if they go with something hyper stylized and gorgeous, I'm totally into this. That sounds like a great idea.
And one of the people working on it is Dai Sato, who worked on Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo, the former of which is one of the best cyberpunk anime out there. So that's a pretty good fit. I might have to check that one out.
Yeah.
Moving on from that, this is actually the only one we got any images of. There is a manga series called Kagaster of an Insect Cage.
We've all been there.
Yeah. This is a series about a sort of post-apocalypse where a disease called the Kagaster virus turns people into giant bugs, and they're adapting that. They're turning that into an original series. This is, let's see, who's working on this? Koichi Chigura, who worked on Last Exile and Full Metal Panic, is directing, and the animation studio Gonzo, who did Hellsing and Afro Samurai, are going to be actually producing it. We got a couple of images from it, which is cool. It would be nice if they put out a trailer or something, but clearly this one is very far along. It looks like you might expect. It looks like an anime series, but then there's big bugs,
Yes.
which I'm down with.
And small Jeeps.
Yes, I think it's a regular sized Jeep and just a very big bug.
Who could know, really?
It's hard to say. You'll have to tune in to Netflix to find out.
That's true.
Now, another one that's really cool is Trace. I'm not sure if I'm saying this right. This is actually based on a Filipino comic book series, which is about a girl named Alexandra Trace, who is going up against like criminal underworld of mythical creatures in like an alternate version of Manila where like sort of Filipino folklore is rolled in. So it sounds kind of like a like a Filipino anime Men in Black, which kind of rules.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, so that's
that art's awesome too.
yeah. So I'm very curious to see what this looks like in motion.
Mm-hmm.
This I don't know if this is available for publication worldwide, but it's definitely got a kind of a fan base online, and it's cool to see like. I don't know, we get lots of anime series based on, Japanese comics, but it's nice to see them kind of digging into, some stuff from another country. So finally, this one is really cool. It's called Yasuke. We don't have anything to go on for this, but this is LaShawn Thomas, who worked on Boondocks and Cannon Busters and the 2003 Ninja Turtles series, and then Lakeith Stanfield, who will be starring in it. He was in Sorry to Bother You and Get Out. And it's going to be an anime series about a famous samurai who was of African descent, like true story, who actually fought Oda Nobunaga, the warlord, whatever. And it's going to be historical to a point, but there's also going to be like magic and mecha. And then Flying Lotus is going to be doing the soundtrack. So this sounds kind of like a gritty reboot of Afro Samurai.
Yeah,
a little
totally.
bit. But definitely like a lot of cool people working on that. This was all announced this morning. Obviously, we'll hear more eventually, but like
That's huge.
I know there's been talk of like maybe Netflix is spending too much money on original content. Maybe they'll pull out of that and just try to like outsource. But it sounds like they're definitely pouring more money into making new anime, which is badass. So. Keep an eye out for more of that.
Max, thank you so much.
Yes.
And thank you all for watching. This was a slightly shorter episode, but we're going to make it up to you by giving you another episode next week. This episode of Up at Noon was brought to you by Metro Exodus. For everything Metro Exodus, be sure to stay tuned to IGN. Some very exciting news is coming your way. Seriously, thank you to Metro for powering
seriously.
this episode.
That's
and
out
allowing
February
us to do this.
22nd. You can pre-order now. It's Xbox One, PS4, and PC.
Yeah, go do that.
Throw people to the Fortnite Streamer Showdown today at 4 p.m.
Ooh.
Featuring Sydney.
Yes, and we also have a Fortnite Streamer Showdown happening today at 4 p.m. live on IGN, starring Sydney Goodman, who loves the Fortnite, and some professional Fortnite players. And if you look very closely in the back of that show, they put a bunch of bricks and logs, which you can find in that game. And I thought that was a very clever touch. I enjoy that. That's a good idea. Also,
Bricks and logs.
Check out Fortnite Tonight is a show I co-host. Good time. Fran Mirabella is on there. We'll be talking about him on next week's episode of Up at Noon. But until then, thank you for watching. Max, thank you so much.
Yeah.
We had a really good time today. Hope you enjoy. Thank you to everyone in the back. Thank you to Shrek, to my dead horse cheddar cheese, and to the monkey that fell out of the tree from smelling his own ass.
May Shrek be with you.